The following is a Just Green production.
Hello, everyone. It's the week of October 16th, 2017. My name is Taylor Cooper, and this might be news to you. What up, everybody? Week 9, Season 2, Might Be News. Follow us on Twitter at MightBeNews247. That's MightBeNews247. Get at us on SoundCloud, iTunes. Follow, subscribe, share. I'm here, as always, with my co-host. Say what up, co-host Kev.
Yo.
What up, co-host Danny?
What's up, guys?
Yeah, you know, back at it. Last week was a lot of fun. We're gonna have a little bit of fun this week. It's gonna be a shorter episode. We got some time constraints this week. Got some things. It's been a very busy weekend for all of us. But before we get into anything, I just want to say I went and saw that new Blade Runner movie last night. I'm a fan. It's good.
Yeah,
it's good. I know you guys would probably hate it because you're not sci-fi fans. Let me just say that rated R sci-fi is awesome. Okay, because it's not like there's nothing in the new Blade Runner movie that's made for kids. There's no cheesy jokes. There's no nothing. It's just a straight up cool, crazy movie. Very, very violent.
I'd probably fall asleep.
You would.
Yeah.
You would. All right. Well, we're gonna try and get through this episode pretty quick today. Let's start off with some good news.
Hey, did you hear the news?
This better be good.
Want the good news or the bad news?
Give me the good stuff.
All right, week 9 with the good news. What do you got, Danny?
All right, so I'm sure if you watch the news, you've seen about all these wildfires that are
Oh, it's terrible.
out west in California.
It's terrible.
It's horrible.
Seen like the drone footage?
It's completely leveling neighborhoods.
It's a wasteland out there. All you see is the chimneys sticking up.
It's
unbelievable.
Well, I have one good story that came out of this. A family dog emerges alive and happy after surviving the wildfires. For one family that lost their house to the North Bay wildfires, they were relieved at least to have found one missing possession, their dog, Izzy.
Wow.
Jack Weaver and his brother-in-law hiked to the Santa Rose Street where his parents' house once stood, looking for their Burmese mountain dog. As they called for Izzy, amid destruction and devastation, she came walking out of the debris, covered in ashes and smelling like soot. Weaver, who was filming the scene from his parents, captured the moment on his cell phone in a video that has gone viral on Facebook, providing a rare bit of good news amid the endless scene of severe destruction. She was very happy to see us, Weaver said of Izzy, a 9-year-old Burmese mountain dog. She's such a sweet and brave dog. She was panting a lot and was clearly stressed, but she was not frantic or anything.
Wow.
Izzy is a huge dog that has now survived 2 scares with cancer and this massive wildfire that is just tearing through California right now.
That's incredible.
Awesome story.
Very cool.
I also have the first woman ever is set to graduate from the Marine Corps' Infantry Officer Program. The 84-week training is considered among the most difficult in all of the armed forces, and 36 women have previously tried and failed before this unnamed lieutenant finished the course last week. The Marine Corps officials have yet to release her name, and sources told the Washington Post that they don't expect her to do any interviews with the media. I just lost my place. Hold on. This course usually sees 25% of its officers in trainings drop out or fail. But this woman is not just going to graduate. She will graduate with the rank of lieutenant and lead an infantry platoon of 40 soldiers. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's wild.
And my last story is Target is raising its minimum hourly wage for its workers to $11 an hour starting next month, and then $15 an hour by the end of 2020, and a move to say will help better recruit and retain top quality staff and provide a better shopping experience for its customers.
Wow.
Right, go get a job at Target.
$15 an hour by 2020.
It's pretty wild.
That's nuts.
Well, that's the good news for the week. We're going to speed right into what's the point this week. But before that, So this week I wanted to talk about the Nobel Prize winners. There's a lot of them, but we don't have time to go through all of them or do them all justice. So here's the plan. Over the next couple weeks, each one of us is going to take one of these Nobel Prize winners, do a little research on them, and come to the table and let everybody know who they are and what they want it for. Because, like I was saying pre-show, Danny, that we talk about it all the time, that it's kind of hard to find good news these days or something worth talking about. Each one of these people or groups has done something in the past year that is very, very positive and very cool. It might not be everybody's cup of tea, but these guys are doing, or these people, are doing stuff that gets them globally recognized and is trying to make the world a better place. So I think that that's something worth talking about, even if it's over the course of the next couple weeks. So that's what we're going to do. So now we don't have to do that this week. I have some new music for this week. Gucci Mane dropped his new album, Mr. Davis. Haven't listened to it yet, but I plan on it. Pink dropped her 7th studio album, Beautiful Trauma. Brent Faiyaz, Sonder Sun is the album. DVSN dropped a new album, Morning After. Not sure who that is. Wu-Tang's new album, The Saga Continues, came out on Friday. I'll talk about that a little bit more. That's my point for today. Beck dropped a new album called Colors. I did get a chance to listen to this, and it's really light. It's really like electronic and kind of dancey. But I read an interview with him, and it's because his kids. He wanted to make something kind of happy and stuff for his kids. Whatever.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's all right. Dirty Heads came out with Swim Team. I like Beck a lot. I really like Beck, and I think that some of his music that he's made in the past is gritty while still being able to be kind of poppy, and this is just pure pop. I didn't make it through the whole thing yet, but so far it's good. It's good. The Jerry Garcia Band came out with their new album, Cats Under the Stars. IDK came out with a very good new album, I Was Very Bad. I think that's Atlas came out with, The Score came out with the album Atlas. Kev, you were wanting to listen to that. I'm going to take a look at that. And Kids Bop 36 dropped on Friday.
Sweet.
I remember when they are Kids Bop 5.
Single digits?
Yeah.
It sucks, doesn't it?
Now this is music 7.
Yeah.
Now it's 45.
No, it's up to 50s.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Insanity.
Wow.
So that's the new music for the week. Obviously, there's more. Something that isn't listed on there, that, spoiler alert, we're probably going to do late review for next week, is Lou the Human, Humaniac is the album.
Where did you hear this guy?
A buddy of mine sent it to me on Facebook. He said, I know you're always listening for music and new music and stuff to review for your show. Check this guy out. And I was blown away. I don't want to get into it too hard. You listened to some of it, Danny?
I did.
It's wild, right?
It's awesome.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Kev.
Kev's
glass is full on hip hop. Apparently, you won't get the analogy because we were talking about it before the show, and he's just like, "Oh, geez, just my glass is full," and it's like an analogy.
No, it is not that.
Explain
and
yourself.
I didn't even say that until after you let me listen to it.
Explain yourself.
What song did you play for me?
It's called Macklemore.
How much did we get through it?
25 seconds.
And I said I would have what? Skipped this track.
Skip the track.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Kev's had his fill.
We'll talk about it next
He's had his
week.
fill of hip hop.
I have.
Oh, geez, Kev.
Unless it makes it move,
Wow.
it does nothing for me.
Well, speaking of making it move, because we're doing a shorter episode today, we're going to just jump right into what's the point. What's the point?
Is there a point to this?
What is your
Are
point?
you just gonna sit there and look stupid?
All right, what's the point? I'll go first this week. The new Wu-Tang album came out. I've been plugging this for the past few weeks because I've been very excited about it. Very, very excited about it. And it came out Friday, and I got to say, I'm underwhelmed by it.
So it didn't make it move.
Now listen, a couple of the songs did, sure. But I feel like let me look at it here. There's 18 tracks on this album.
Wow.
Of the 18, probably 8 of them might be skits. Let me look. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 4 of them are skits, but it just feels like way more when you're listening
Why
to
do
it.
they still do that?
Oh, 5. There's 5 because this one wasn't labeled as skit. And the intro and outro. So, like, 6. Like, you just keep adding more onto it. And it's okay. Like, we're not doing a late review of this album right now, but if I had to give it a numerical, rating, it'd have to be 7-ish. I feel like they released the 2 best songs on the album like a month ago. Like, point blank period, 2 of the best songs on the album I had already heard easily 50 times before this album came out. So that left me feeling like I just went to a movie and saw all the best parts in the trailer. You guys that's happened to you before,
Yeah,
correct?
I hate when that happens.
I mean, you go to a movie and you're like so pumped to see this movie because the trailer looks so good, and then you get in there and you're like, wait a minute, I feel like I already saw this movie, or I didn't even need to see the other, hour and a half of this movie because I saw everything in the trailer. And that's kind of how I felt with this new Wu-Tang album. There's only, and anybody who knows me and actually knows me knows that Wu-Tang is my ultimate number 1 music band, group, whatever of all time. That they're it for me. I love Wu-Tang. 36 Chambers, Forever, The W, all that, instant classics. I would give their first 3 albums 10, 10, 10. Easy, Kev. You're over there shaking your head, acting like they're not legendary MCs.
They
I'm
are.
already sick of it.
They are.
This one I would have to
actually
give it a
heard
7.
Wu-Tang on the radio yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
What song?
I think it was Forever. Is that an album? That's an
it's
album.
from Forever. Then it had to have been shit.
You're a terrible fan.
Shit.
You are a terrible fan.
I'm like, well, you took me way off base here. Triumph.
Yes.
Triumph.
Yes.
I knew it started with a T. I was just like, shit. Anyway, I like the album. There was a couple songs that I just were just not into, but I just feel like I hyped this album up so much, and I wanted to talk about it. The song Pearl Harbor is probably the best song on the album that I hadn't heard yet. And as far as memorable moments on the album go, it's on Pearl Harbor when Sean Price comes in with the first verse. It's probably the best verse on the whole album. It's absolutely incredible. Rest in peace, Sean Price. There's, like I said, one verse from the GZA, which I am not satisfied with. GZA is one of my favorite rappers of all time, and he's just like kind of shoved in on one song, and that's it. It just kind of felt rushed. I haven't watched the interview yet, but apparently Method Man wasn't very excited on this album, which surprises me because he's all over it. Redman makes a couple of appearances, which is very cool. That's it. Otherwise, I was very underwhelmed by it and just kind of not let down because, listen, all these guys are in their 40s now. I mean, some of them might even have grandkids, Like, I can't expect these guys to come out and do what they did 20 years ago every album. People are like, oh, they're falling off. No, they're just getting older. And not to mention, they're trying to stay the same in a music genre that is constantly changing. You know what I mean?
It's changing big time.
Changing big time. Hip-hop is always constantly changing, and it's all about this pop stuff now. And that is definitely not what Wu-Tang is going to do next. Like, they're not going to change in that direction, ever.
They're
So
too gritty for that.
if you ever think if you're ever hoping that they do, I just don't see it happening. Like, they come out with like maybe 1 or 2 songs on their album that kind of go along those lines, but not really. Everything has like a classic sound to it. Everything has like a kung fu vibe to it. And if you're not into that stuff, then you're not going to be into the new Wu-Tang album. Point blank, period. And, I was extra hype on this, and maybe I just need to tone back my hype for the next one, if there is a next one. Because bottom line is that just for all 8 of these guys and then some features to get together and still be making good music all these years later, just that in itself is amazing to me. Right? I mean, it's just like if you get a new Rolling Stones album, it's not going to be better than their greatest hits, but just the fact that they're still putting music out, that makes it awesome to me. I'll take any new Wu-Tang I can get, even if it's like 4 good songs on a track, on an album.
This makes me think.
Kev, I'm going to fuck you up. I'm going to jump over this table. I'm going to fuck you up.
This makes me think. How much did you pay for this new album?
I have Apple Music. I did not pay for this new album.
Well, you paid what?
Oh, that's
$10 a month.
I didn't know that's how that works.
Yeah, that's how it works, man. It's the greatest $10 I spend a month.
Okay,
I love it.
So $10 a month to be underwhelmed by this new album.
Sure.
Makes me think about this guy that just spent $2 million on this other new album.
Dude, I bet that album is incredible.
Yeah, but what if that album was underwhelming too, and you just
If
spent
that
$2
album
million?
if that album has like 8 skits on it, I would be fucking freaking out. Like if a $2 million, if I spent $2 million on a Wu-Tang album and it was like every other song was a skit like this one, oh my God, I'd break it up against the wall.
Lose your shit.
But see, and that's the thing, and I was talking to Jackie about it too. If I would have like been back in the day, if I had heard these 2 songs and then I went out to Sam Goody or wherever to go get this album,
Coconuts,
and I got it and brought it back, I would be probably more upset than I am now. But the fact that I get to stream anything I want for $10 a month, it's like whatever, just on to the next one, which is exactly what I did. I listened to the Wu-Tang album 4 times cover to cover. It's good, but it's not what you want it to be.
You didn't like the album from the first listen?
I was underwhelmed by the first one.
How do you sit there and listen to it 3 more times?
Because
all the way. I mean, like
Sure.
when I'm listening to an album and I find an album that I like, I'm going to go to the songs that I like and not just listen through the whole thing.
I guess you got that privilege though. When you're at work, you can listen to that kind of stuff.
that and I mean, I take Wu-Tang very seriously. If it was somebody else, some other random rapper or some other random band that I've never listened to before, and I was underwhelmed by it, I wouldn't listen to it again. But I have a Wu-Tang tattoo on my arm. Like I figure I'm going to give these guys another chance to just. You also have to digest lyrics. And especially in hip hop, it's not mumble rap. You have to digest lyrics. I had to listen to the new Kendrick Lamar album a few times before I really caught some of the things that make it great, So if I'm just focused on beats the first time I listen to the album and not the lyrics, then I'm not actually getting what the album's about. So if I go back and sit down and listen to the beats first and then the lyrics second, I might like it more. It's like Nas. Nas after Illmatic, I never really got down with his beat selection, right? But you listen to what he's actually saying, and that makes the song better. That's how I feel anyway. I mean, everybody's different when it comes to this kind of thing, but I figured I wanted to give Wu-Tang more than one chance on this album. It's good. 4 times, yeah. Kev, when you take all the skits out, it's a pretty short album. And I wasn't listening to the skits by the second and third time. I was like, okay, well, skip. It's all right. I mean, for a bunch of 40-year-old rappers who have been rich for a long time now, they're still putting out good music. It's not 36 Chambers. It's not Forever, and it's not Iron Flag or the W, but how could it be? So that's my point. Kev, you can go fuck yourself. That's my point. That's my point. What's your point, Kev?
Okay. So my wife is on an away weekend with her girlfriends.
Good for her.
Yeah,
Good for her.
taking some time for herself.
Blowing dudes.
I'm going to ignore that.
Sorry, Amy. Blew your spot up. I'm just kidding. She looks like she's having fun on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Horseback riding and all kinds of stuff. But I have the boys by myself this weekend.
God bless you.
Oh my God.
Is it going well?
Dude, they constantly, and this is what I want to talk about, they constantly are at each other's throats.
That's probably why she went away.
Oh my God. Do you have an issue with this, Dan?
I do.
Dude, like, Jackson, I laid him down. He just woke up. He's still in diapers. I lay him down, change his diaper after he wakes up. He's got a pair of binoculars in his hand. Has it sitting on the floor. And Cole says, "Those are my binoculars." Comes over, rips them out of his hand, and they both start freaking fighting. And I lose it.
It's a brother
I freaking
thing.
lose it.
It's a brother thing.
I don't.
Like, it's funny. My wife and I were just talking about this the other night. They do stuff like they know how to push each other's buttons. Like, my youngest will be playing the Xbox. He loves playing Call of Duty and Halo.
Okay.
Don't judge me. That's what he loves to do.
No, my 5-year-old is allowed to play Call of Duty.
So, but like my oldest, Landon, will go over and he'll accidentally trip over the cord and pull the cord out.
Oh my God.
And Blake doesn't know how to put the cord back in. So, I mean, they antagonize each other. Dude, it's what they do.
Kev, you grew up with a
Constantly.
sister. Did you guys ever fight?
Yes, and I feel bad for my parents now.
Yeah. Dude, I've apologized to my parents many times.
Oh my God, I cannot. Did you? Because I know you didn't grow up your whole.
I have an extended family.
Right. You didn't grow up the whole time with John, but did you guys fight?
Not very often, to be honest. Like when we fought, it was about chicks, and that's it. Like,
yeah, but how could you fight with John?
John
I mean,
and
he's
I-
just like
yeah,
a big teddy bear.
John and I have always gotten along really, really well. We never, when we did fight, it got bad, but that didn't happen very often.
And
Nathan, on the other hand, I used to terrorize that kid. Because, I mean, like, me and John are like 10 years older than him. And he was such a snitch growing up. I used to just, like, walk right behind him and, like, just grab him by the side of his head and slam it up against the wall real good. Not hard, but just, like, enough to, like, let him know that, like, I run this shit. Like, I just come out and just, boop, like, hit him right in his fucking head, his big old head. And, like, I'll never forget the one time, like, our parents went out, like, they went to the store or something, and Nathan's talking all this shit, and I just me and John both pick him up. Like, I had one arm, he had one arm, one leg, and John had the same, and we just shoved his face, like, body slammed him head first into the couch, and we got his head stuck in the cushions, and this little kid couldn't get out. He was, like, his arms and legs were, like, wailing everywhere, and he couldn't get out. Dude, it was funny, man.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious.
He was an asshole as a kid. Like, I had an ingrown toenail one time,
Yeah.
and he came up with like a meat tenderizer. Like, I was just chilling watching TV, and that kid smashed my foot with a meat tenderizer. Dude, I was crying so hard, and I wanted to murder him in cold blood. Like, I wanted to murder him. Oh, it was bad. But we used to mess with him a lot. Like, that shit was fun. But now we're cool. Like, none of that happens
Nathan's
now.
real cool now.
Nathan, I don't know how he still likes me. Like, I don't know how he grew up to respect me at all. Like, because I was a real asshole to that kid when he was a kid.
Dude, my kids just are constantly at each other's throats, like taking tablets away from each other. They have their little tablets, and they just the stupidest stuff that they fight about sets me off. And I just can't handle it. I can't handle it. And I needed to talk about it for a minute.
A little vent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Do you feel better?
Yes.
Even though your kids are in the other room
Yeah.
of our big studio?
And you keep having to run back there.
Tell them, stop yelling at each other if you can hear them. On the mics.
No, we can't. But there are kids in the studio today, which is cool. That's a first. Danny, what's your point this week?
Seeing a lot of this on Facebook, and it's been really bothering me. So I wanted to bring it up and get your guys' perspective on it. The new rule that is allowing girls in Boy Scouts.
Ugh.
Now,
We already know where Kev stands.
I was in the Cub Scouts, in the Boy Scouts. I obtained my rank as Eagle Scout.
Did you really?
I did.
Huh. Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm
Thank you
not
for
a
your-
fan of this. I'm not a fan of this whatsoever.
That's why they have Girl Scouts.
Yes, but growing up, when I was in the Cub Scouts, that was something I did with my dad. It was something my guy friends did with their dads. We went out in the woods. We roughed it. We put up campsites. We played with knives. It was a guy thing to do, and it almost felt like a privilege to me as a kid to just be out there with the other kids, the other boys and their dads. That was like a privilege to me. And, it did teach me a lot about being a man, a lot about responsibility. Cub Scouts are also pretty big into religion, so it taught me, a good bit about religion. But I think them opening it up and letting girls to come in is going to kind of take back what some of these kids are doing now and allowing them, the achievements that they're getting.
That bothers me. That really bothers me. I am 100% with you on that. Go ahead.
Let
ahead.
me let me ask you a serious question, because I'm on the fence about this. I don't. All right. So after Cub Scouts, you go to Boy Scouts. After Boy Scouts, you go to Eagle Scouts. Correct?
So there's Cub Scouts, but then there's ranks in Cub Scouts. You start out as
Lion, because Cole is in it.
You start as a tiger, though.
Lion.
Is it a lion?
Lion in kindergarten.
Lion, tiger, bobcat, bear,
Oh my.
Weeblo. And then after Weeblos, that's when you graduate into the Boy Scouts. Boy Scouts, same thing. There's different ranks. I can't recite them off the top of my head, but there's like a star, a life, a first class, tenderfoot. But the highest you can get is Eagle Scout. And that is a very, very big achievement amongst achievements that kids can get. Like, I know there was a police officer from one of the local townships, and I saw he had an Eagle Scout pin on his uniform. And I asked him, and I said, "Hey, you an Eagle Scout?" And he said, "Yep." He said, "I wear this pin because me and some other guy were both applying for this job at the same time. We both had the same requirements. We both, were able to take this job, but I was picked because I had an Eagle Scout on my resume."
My wife's brother just got Eagle Scout, and I was talking to him about it, and you can do things with that.
It looks really good on job applications, college resumes. I mean, it's a big deal.
Right?
All right. So let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
So there's multiple levels for guys. Cub Scout, Boy Scout, Eagle Scout, all that. Is there that for girls?
Yes.
What is it?
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know their ranks, but they do have ranks.
Do girls have an Eagle Scout?
No. And that's what I'm saying. If they,
I think that the girls should be able to join like Eagle Scouts. Like if I don't know how it works for Girl Scouts.
it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
No.
They don't
You-
go up in rank like.
Well, you can, but I'm saying you can't just join Eagle Scouts.
No. I know. I'm
Like, this
saying
is
like
something
if you're in Girl Scouts, you have to work for it like the Boy Scouts do until you get to that level of I want to go past this. I'm better than just a Girl Scout. It's time for Eagle Scouts. Maybe that's when they bring them together.
Well, then they need to create their own program that's associated with the Eagle, but for the Girl Scouts.
Well, you don't think that they should be brought together at all? Then is what you're saying?
It's called Boy Scouts.
No, it is when they're at that level. Eagle Scouts isn't called Boy Scouts.
No, Eagle Scout is a rank
Eagle Scout's a
of
rank.
Boy Scouts.
It's just a rank.
It's not a separate thing.
No.
Well, I mean, I know it's the same thing, but I'm just saying, like, it's a
No,
new program.
No.
It's like going from elementary school to middle school.
No.
It's not that.
It's in the rankings of Boy Scouts. It's the highest rank you can get. Like when you're going through school, and you start out at the high school, you have, well, now it's 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Yeah.
Your Eagle Scout is like reaching your senior year.
Okay, so but if you're an Eagle Scout, do Eagle Scouts do different activities than other Boy Scouts?
They're still in the Boy Scout program, still with the younger Scouts. They just have different badges they have to get, and different ranks they have to go through.
Because my thing is like eliminate the gender out of it and just make it scouts.
So for Girl Scouts, they have different ranks. They have the daisies, the brownies, the juniors, the cadets, the seniors, and then the ambassadors. So the ambassadors
They're Eagle
is
Scout.
their Eagle Scout.
They sell a lot of cookies
Yeah.
to get there.
They have to actually sell a certain amount of cookies to get those ranks.
And just like Eagle Scout, you have to have a certain amount of merit badges to get Eagle Scout.
That
You
was a
also-
joke.
Oh,
Kev, can't joke around with shit I don't know about, Kev. Because I'm over here thinking like, oh, wow, these girls really just have to sell cookies to advance in the world? Is that what's going on now? Thanks, Kev. I really appreciate the fake news, Kev. This might be fake news now. Everybody listening to you, Kev. I'm not listening to you, Kev.
So to obtain the rank of Eagle, you have to put in so many merit badges that you have to obtain.
Boxes of popcorn,
Bags.
Pinewood Derby cars.
No, they do that.
I
but-
love that. I
Yeah.
was a Cub Scout for a little while.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
But I'm just, the Boy Scouts have been around since 1910. Never had any problems with this. And I got in an argument on Facebook about this, and somebody called me entitled because I don't want the girls to be in the Cub Scouts.
I don't feel that way.
I'm not entitled.
Yeah.
Entitled is them trying to come and take it over because they feel like they can and they want to because they want what we have. And that pisses me off.
Mm,
We're not getting, nope.
I feel like, I mean, it might help socialize kids better with, the opposite sex. Maybe it's better somewhere along the lines. Like I kind of am against them joining from like the beginning, like
That's
Cub
when they would
Scouts.
have to join. When you're
because
in
it
the
all
Boy
works so
Scouts,
much differently.
You work your way up from the very bottom level of Boy Scouts to become an Eagle. You work your way through the ranks. You can't obtain Eagle Scout without getting your tenderfoot or your first class or your star of your life.
So they would have to be together forever,
The entire organization.
unless they put their heads together and made the same type program on both sides. Like, you know what I mean? Like, say for example, like you're talking about all these ranks and stuff on the Boy Scouts. Well, if the Girl Scouts kind of changed their way through it to kind of mimic that identically, to make it fair, so that everybody, when they reach this pinnacle height, wherever that would be, to bring them together. Because I think, I mean, I like the Scout program. I like the idea of kids growing up knowing how to handle themselves in a nature situation. How do I start a campfire? How do I do this? How do I do that? How can I sculpt wood to make a car out of it? How can I, whatever else you can do, go fishing, archery, all that stuff. Those are all merit badges, correct? Like
Correct.
you're learning those things as a child. I don't necessarily see it as a bad thing for them to be together at some point if they can figure out that program to make it identical to the Boy Scouts. Like, but I feel you. I do understand what you're saying, because you went through the whole process. You're one of these people that have been comfortable with something for this long, and they've been separate for this long. Why do they need to change it? I don't really see it as anybody coming for anything, trying to take something away. I don't know. I just think that
it would
I just think
change
that-
the layout of being a Boy Scout.
right.
Completely.
Completely.
100%.
I just think that in this day and age, when there's just so much division going on, they're trying to unify the kids.
Then they need to create a whole separate organization called Scouts of America.
Scouts of America.
But don't change what's
Yeah,
going
I
on
don't
right
see
now.
how they could just continue calling it Boy Scouts.
They wouldn't be able to.
They wouldn't be able to.
So if they want to add in the girls, have a separate organization, Scouts of America, start something new, but don't eliminate Boy Scouts.
Right.
You can't eliminate the Boy
And
Scouts.
by that term, you can't eliminate Girl Scouts either. I mean,
No, because there's probably parents out there that want their girls just to be in the Girl Scouts.
yeah.
So have your Girl Scouts, have your Boy Scouts, and if you want to, have the Scouts of America, but don't eliminate the Boy Scouts.
How many boys do you think there are asking and saying, Mom and Dad, I want to join the Girl Scouts?
I'm trying to convince my kid to join during cookie season.
I don't think there's too many Girl Scouts out there that say they want to be in the Boy Scouts. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know why they're doing this. Does anybody know?
To cause drama.
No, so apparently the
It's a distraction from Trump's Twitter feed.
the recruitment for Boy Scouts has slightly gone down, so they are seeing less kids getting
Because they sell
involved.
popcorn.
That's $11 a bag.
And it's not anywhere as good as the cookies.
No.
The cookies beat the popcorn in the face hard and repeatedly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Girl Scout cookies beat the Keebler Elf, right?
No.
No. You are full of shit.
Yale fudge?
There's got to be a Girl Scout equivalent.
No way.
There's got to be a Girl
There's
Scout
not.
equivalent.
Not with that delicious fudge in the center. No freaking way.
Keebler Elf doesn't make thin mints.
They're not even soft.
What?
They're cookies.
Whose cookies?
Girl Scouts. They're banging. Don't get me
The
wrong.
caramel delights are delicious.
But they're not.
And they are soft.
And they are very soft.
Are they?
Yes.
Screw them. I don't want them. I'd rather go to the grocery store and get
Damn
my cookies
girls.
all year long.
I don't want these girls.
Hold on. Wait a minute. So there are cookie companies like Nabisco that have taken like the caramel delights and they are making their own version because they are such high sellers.
Well, I'll buy them from them then.
Okay.
It's a full boycott.
Screw the Girl Scouts.
Wow.
No, I'm just playing.
I understand what you're saying, Danny. I think that they need to overhaul the program, maybe find a middle road, like I was saying, like you start out in the Cub Scouts, start out in the Girl Scouts, you guys are apart, and then once you start getting into the camping trips and learning things that actually matter, right? Because I mean, you're in Cub Scouts, you're popping popcorn and making cars.
Oh, we do a lot more than that.
I
know, but I'm
just saying that like once you get into the heavy duty stuff, I don't see why they can't be together. Go on camping trips, start.
Just something that I felt, it was a privilege for me to do with my dad with the other boys.
Yeah.
And it was something that I
Neither of you have to worry about this, but imagine being a dad of multiple girls and that's it. And you want to kind of do the same. You grew up, imagine you went through the whole Cub Scout thing, you became an Eagle Scout, and crap, I got these girls. Can't do that. It's a good, but you still want to do something. Now you can. Just join the Scouts of America. I used to get that Boys Life magazine.
Me too.
It was dumb. Anyway. All right, so everybody good on their point for this week? You guys vented enough?
yeah.
I'm going to say one more thing. All right. Nobody wanted me to go here, but I'm going to go here real quick.
Oh boy.
Just real quick. I don't want to get into it, but
This is not going to be real quick.
you shut your mouth. The longer you prevent me from saying what I'm going to say. All right. So I'm just urging people to go out and follow our president on Twitter. Do it.
That's a bad idea.
Or keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut or follow him on Twitter. I've been posting. I went on a rampage this week on Facebook, which is good because I'm not going on a rampage on this show. So I've been kind of like, all right, I'm just going to do it on my Facebook.
Dude, your Twitter is currently being watched by the Secret Service right now.
Twitter, I'm on a mission to get blocked by the president.
Yo, you went hard on Twitter this week.
I feel like
You went in on him.
you were like, well, why don't you just unfollow him? That's not the point. I want this guy to A, listen to our show, B, recognize that I hate his guts and block me.
Do you think he cares that you hate his guts?
No. I think that he hates everybody who hates his guts. So he probably hates me if he ever read any of my replies. People are like, coming to defense of him. I post some things on Facebook, whatever, and people come to his defense, and that's fine. You want people to support the country, and I get that and all that. I do support the country, but I just feel like this guy is erratic and irrational and unfit. But he's coming for the freedom of speech. He hates the media. He hates anybody who's against him. It's hilarious that he hasn't commented on this Eminem freestyle that came out that everybody hates because he knows that Eminem would destroy him lyrically anyway.
Well,
Because they're going to freestyle.
They're not going to freestyle battle. It would just get really bad.
He's too busy trying to heal those burns that he got.
Yeah. I just if you aren't following Donald Trump on Twitter and you think that he's doing a great job, do yourself a favor, follow him on Twitter and tell me if you still feel that way. Every day around 5 to 6 o'clock in the morning when he's taking his first shit on a golden toilet, he goes on these rants. And if you just see one tweet isolated on TV on the 6 o'clock news, it's not a big deal. But when you just go to his Twitter page and actually look, what the President of the United States is taking his time to talk about, it's absolutely unbelievable. You'll see contrasts. You'll see him saying, "Don't worry, Texas. We will be with you always. We will continue to give you help always until the job is done." And then you'll see, "Sorry, Puerto Rico, we can't keep our people there forever. You were a mess before the hurricane." It's not a quote, but that's literally what he said. Puerto Rico was a mess before the hurricane. We can't keep our first responders there forever. They owe Wall Street a bunch of money. He's been on Twitter talking about that. I don't think he's mentioned these wildfires in California once. Not one time. Meanwhile, he's on a war path to try and get the NFL to change their rules. All on Twitter. Just before you call me a crazy person, just go follow him on Twitter if you haven't already. Anyway, late review time. I know it's a little late, but
You're just hearing about this?
Can't believe I'm just hearing.
Why didn't I know about this sooner?
all right, so this week on the late review, Kev decided to do something a little different. He picked a movie this week instead of an album.
Good job, Kev.
Kev, what do you think?
Fail.
Good job, Kev.
What movie did you pick?
I picked Blood Diamond.
Blood Diamond.
Yeah.
It's new on Netflix, right?
Yes, as of this month.
Okay.
Did you watch it?
I had seen it before, so yes and no. I watched it. I tried to watch it again. I fell asleep. I remember how it ends, but...
Dan, did you watch it?
I had a little too much to drink.
And I fell asleep as
I
well.
fell asleep.
So we all failed.
So numerically, what is your rating of this movie?
I'm so glad I'm not the only one.
Numerically,
Were you guys like sweating that today on your way
Yes.
over? Like, shit, I gotta
Allison
tell.
was like, just tell him you didn't watch it. And I'm like, I can't. I had all week to watch it.
Yeah. Literally 7 days.
numerically, I can't even give it a rating. It was on for like 3 or 4 minutes.
So what you're telling me is that this is a complete fail of a late review, Kev?
Yes.
Wow, we're never doing a fucking movie again. Never doing a movie again. You're going to have to suffer through music now. This was your way out, Kev. If this was a hit, if everybody was like, wow, they give really good movie reviews. Now it's a fail. We're doing music forever.
I hate my life.
Hip-hop music, like the kind of stuff you don't like. I don't know. I like this movie. It's weird seeing Leonardo DiCaprio with like a South African accent the whole time. So once you get like past that, it's cool. I don't remember the other guy's name, like the other main character that's with him. He's been in a bunch of stuff. Amistad was good. He's in the Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one. Periodically, he's a good actor. He's been in a bunch of stuff. But he was great in the movie. Jennifer Connelly, I've always had a crush on her since The Rocketeer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
It's good.
Yeah,
It's good.
it's good. I'd give this movie a nice, 7, 8.
I'm going to have to watch it.
Kevin.
So, next week we'll go back to music probably because at least we can listen to that and not fall asleep. What do you got for this week in history, Kev?
I got one thing.
One thing.
One.
One.
Better be good.
It was not
It better be good.
October 17th, 1931. Al Capone was convicted for tax evasion and was sentenced to 11 years.
Wow. That's it?
That's all I could find that was interesting.
In the whole world?
I mean, Thomas Jefferson died.
You didn't write that down?
No.
You are so unpatriotic.
I don't like talking about when people die.
Really? Does it
Yeah.
make you sad, dude?
A little bit. Oh! And to go back on it, a little thing that gets my emotions flowing.
Yeah.
Like when a soldier comes home to his dog or his
Oh my
wife
God.
or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That gets me going.
Yeah.
Gets me a little sad.
Yeah, like
emotional.
your eyes like
Tear up a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Tear up like you just yawned, or like you get like really emotional?
Or do you have to like wipe the tears away?
Is it like
I
a
don't-
physical tear?
I don't have to physically wipe, but
You're not a man.
It immediately evaporates like that. It's that little of a emotion.
no, but I could definitely feel it coming on. Like
Borderline
right now.
breakthrough. Borderline.
Yeah.
You're still an emotionalist
I wouldn't
turd.
go all the way breakthrough.
Yeah, he's an emotionalist turd.
I suck.
Wow, Kev. Go home and watch Blood Diamond. And you go home and watch Moana.
You still haven't done that.
Why? Yo, we almost made it through the whole episode.
I think my kids are in the other room watching it right
We
now.
almost made it through the whole episode.
Danny, you should just stop. We'll just stop recording and go watch Moana with Kev's kids.
My
Whatever part they're on is
God.
good. It's a great movie. Great soundtrack. All right, so that's it for this week, guys. We will be back next week. Not sure what we're going to do. We're working on a couple guests coming up here. We got an author lined up, possibly. We got some things. We're looking into this conspiracy theory episode as well. So we'll be back next week. Say peace out, Kev.
See ya.
Peace out, Danny.
Peace out.
All right, guys. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.